good after a 40-point win. That's what we do it for, huh? Well, you know, a little bit of a slow start, and you know, I've already heard a few comments just walking up here, you know, about comparing that to Saturday. This was totally different than Saturday. Saturday, we came out a little bit slow with our intensity. This game, we were erratic early. I mean, we couldn't get in our press attack. We were taking quick shots. We were almost over pursuing the ball on the defensive end. And, you know, the whole message going into this game was it was going to be simplicity versus chaos. And one of the two was going to win out. And I thought early it was chaos. And once we were able to settle and just make sure, slow your feet down a little bit, play your assignment, move the ball offensively, don't take a bad shot, don't feel like you got to take a quick shot. Once we settled in, I think on both sides of the ball, you saw a little bit more of what we're accustomed to. You know, other thing I'll say in opening, just 31 assists, team record, a program record, and that's a credit to the kids we have and how connected they are, how much they care about each other, and for them to move the ball like that and to get 31 assists has never been done in program history. Just shows how close of a team that we have.
Assists like that, I mean, that gives you the opportunity to have 5 guys in double figures, 2 and 20 points.
It does because ball movement is hard to guard. And when you can move the ball and you can move bodies, you know, it's so much easier to guard a ball that is sticking or that's in one player's hands. But when you have to move the ball, movement creates confusion. Confusion breaks down communication. Now you can get the things that you need to get offensively. And our guys just buy into that. I mean, they absolutely buy in for the most part. I think we turned it over a little bit more than we would like tonight. We tried early. We weren't playing as simple as we needed to. But once we were simple, played on 2 feet, you know, drew 2 and kicked it, it was hard for them to guard us. And, you know, press or zone, you know, I thought we did a pretty good job when we were simple of just making sure that the ball didn't stick.
They play such an odd way, unusual way, I guess I should say. Frenetic. They force a lot of turnovers. They usually score a lot of points. They got the turnovers tonight. Turnovers about even, but you guys going 26-5, I think, points off turnovers, something like that. What was the key to not allowing them to produce off there?
Well, I think I don't have the stat in front of me. I think that they had 18, we had 17. My guess would be that we forced more live ball turnovers, and I think that we had a few more dead ball turnovers, which you get to go against a set defense. We got a bunch of live ball turnovers tonight, and when you do that and we can get out and run and we can run the space, we've just got some playmakers that are able to finish, and we got some shooters that are able to space the floor pretty quickly, and I thought that was a big key to the game. You know, shot 43s. Best part about that is we made 17 of them. But I think with that, what you can't lose sight of is the fact, I'm sure that's a season high attempts for us, but we also had 44 points in the paint. And I think that, you know, it's a lot of, I mean, there were 71 attempts in the game tonight. And we did shoot a lot of threes, but I also thought we shot a lot of layups. And I thought that was key, that we didn't just settle for threes, but we got penetration. We got the ball to Matt, and we were able to see some pretty good cutting, even versus the zone, and also some good 3 attempts.
Jordan's production lately off the bench has been good. What does it mean going forward in the conference if he can keep giving you some production?
Jordan Lyons is a really, really good basketball player, and we knew that when we recruited him. Was a heavily recruited prospect. He carries a big-time swagger about him, and he thinks he's going to make every shot. And you know, the hardest thing for Jordan is we didn't lose a perimeter player last year. We added one in Alex Hunter. And there was no minutes this year on the perimeter were actually a little bit harder to come by. And so a lot of times when you have a freshman year like he did, you expect the role just to change by osmosis. But when you have more that are competing, all of a sudden, you know, it just gets real competitive. And, you know, what we really had to convince Jordan through that was focus on your defense, focus on your energy, focus on your assignment, focus less about the shots. And I tell you, his defensive intensity tonight was the best it's been all year. And I heard him out there. He was communicating. He was moving around. And then, ironically enough, he goes 50% from the 3 and makes 5 threes, hits all 5 free throws, and has 20 points. But he has 2 steals, has 1 assist, and doesn't turn it over. And that's what I'm proud of Jordan about, is he's bought into playing the game the right way. And usually when you play the game the right way, it rewards you.
Two additions to what you just said, you started out 0 for 7 on 3. This team has just reached a veteran level where it doesn't really matter what they start. They're going to keep shooting because they know they can shoot.
Yeah, I mean, we've got good shooters. I think Saturday we had 8 guys make a 3. Tonight it looks like we only had 5 guys make a 3. But, you know, that's our identity. I mean, we've got good shooters, and we know that, and we talk about it. We shoot a lot. We work on shooting a lot. And, you know, we all know that in the flow of the game, you know, you're not going to make them all. That's why 40% is a good number. And that's what we tell them all the time, that, you know, you can miss more than you make and still be shooting a great percentage. But you've got to focus on your approach. Are they the shots we want in our offense? Are they coming on 2 feet? Do we have room, rhythm, and range? And are we getting the right ones? And I thought early it was a little rushed. It was a little early. We took some that I thought that were going to be there the whole possession. And then as we got in the flow and we started driving the ball more, I thought we were able to step into some, and that's when you start seeing them fall.
The other thing about defensive intensity off the bench, Jeff Beans has turned into a pretty good defensive player all of a sudden after kind of being a little bit of a liability, I think, in the past maybe defensively. So
proud of him. I mean, just so proud of that guy. The amount of questions I've gotten asked about what's wrong with him, there's nothing wrong with Jeff Beans. Like, Jeff Beans is a Furman Paladin to the core. And, you know, he had to deal with the injury. His conditioning was off in the preseason. He got through a little bit of a shooting slump. And, again, similar to Jordan, he's bought into trying to redirect his thoughts and focus to something else and just letting the shooting take care of itself. And I thought his energy changed the game. I thought when he came in there, I heard him. He was communicating. He was flying around. And I thought that really gave us a little bit of spark. And that's who Jeff Beans is. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on with him. His energy is always up. He's a phenomenal teammate. And he's just as big as his senior group as the other 3. He just doesn't get as much credit. But, you go back to his freshman year and, we're in that conference championship game because of Jeff Beans. And, he's had a huge piece in turning this program around. And I just love to see him coming back. And that was the whole goal with him. Can we get you ready for conference? And it's been rewarding to see that turn for him as well.
The run that you went on at the end of the first half and kept it going there in the second half, I mean, it not only meant good things tonight, but it's got to help for Saturday, right? Because you got some guys some rest.
We did. We didn't have to play anybody more than 23 minutes, which was great. Devin played 23, and Andrew and Daniel played 22. JD, so all our starters were 23 or less. And we also got the bench some quality minutes. We got 5 guys, 15 or more minutes off the bench. And, that's what good performances can do. They can help you build your depth. They can help you build your confidence. And also on a Thursday, Saturday turnaround, it can rest you a little bit. But, Saturday's going to be a great ball game. We got a really good ball club coming in here, and Coach Hoffman does a great job with them. And so, regardless of how many minutes they play tonight, we got to regroup, and we got to get rested up. And, we got to be ready to come out here and play as hard as we can play on Saturday.
One last question for me. You were down 30-29 with less than 6 minutes to go in the first half. You were up 56-33 in this final 5:55, whatever it was. Have you been around a team that can score as quickly as this team can on spurts like that?
I think a lot of that is twofold. It's when this team decides they want to really sit down and guard you, and then the power of the 3 ball. I mean, when you make 2 threes in a row, and it goes from a tie game to 6 points, and that happens in a 40-second span, that's discouraging. And then you start adding a couple more, and you start adding a couple more, but it all starts with the stops. And we're able to space the floor. We got guys that are willing to play unselfish basketball, and that the 3 ball can just add up. And that's the same thing on the other side. And when you're playing against a team like Citadel, that was the whole conversation at halftime. Is they erased a 27-point margin against us last year at their place and cut it to 3. No lead is safe, and it's the same thing. It's to the 3 ball. They start banging some threes, and all of a sudden a 20-point lead goes to 10 in a hurry. And so our ability to really guard and then willingness to move the ball and to make shots, I think that's a formula for putting some quick points and being able to make runs. Can't make runs if the other team's scoring, right? So you make all the threes you want, but if they're making shots, you can't make runs, and runs start on the defensive end of the floor.